Well, another beautiful night for baseball in the Bronx, and as usual, plenty of fans filing into Yankee Stadium. It'll be another near sellout crowd, and it's time to check out tonight's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by Infinity, makers of innovative high-performance premium vehicles. Doug Wechter, a right-hander for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, 5-9, pitched 9 innings against the Yankees a couple weeks ago, and for the Yankees, Jarrett Wright with a record of 4-2.
Jarrett Wright, since coming off the disabled list, has 2 wins and no losses. He picked up a win against the Toronto Blue Jays right here at Yankee Stadium on August the 22nd. The Yankees won 7-0, and Jarrett Wright went 7 strong innings in that contest. His last start was last Thursday against the Seattle Mariners, and it was halted after 5 1/3 innings. One of the scariest sights you can see in baseball. A pitcher hit by a line drive. But Jarrett Wright is back tonight.
Yeah, fortunately, no damage to that pitching arm, and he'll try to get the Yankees on the right track when we come back to the Bronx after this. We're going to check out the Devil Rays starting lineup that'll face Jarrett Wright. It's presented by Rico. A lot of speed in this lineup, and they have defeated the Yankees 10 times this year. Julio Lugo at the top, then Carl Crawford and Jorge Cantu. The middle has Aubrey Huff, the cleanup hitter, then Johnny Gomes. Good season against the Yankees. Travis Lee at first base. Bats 6, Damon Hollins, Toby Hall, and Joey Gathright, probably the fastest runner on the field tonight, bats 9th.
Well, Jarrett Wright has just finished his warm-up tosses. These are his numbers on the season. This will be his 9th start, a record of 4-2. Earned average has been dropping with his good pitching since coming off the disabled list. 54 hits and 43 in a third inning, 17 walks, 25 strikeouts. Here's our scouting report on Jarrett Wright. Down but not out. He was hit by that line drive off the bat of Raul Ibanez in Seattle, but back tonight, did not miss a turn. He's got great movement on his fastball and a very effective changeup. Early in his career, his changeup was not nearly this good.
Jarrett has learned to pitch within himself, say about 85 to 90%. And so he doesn't overthrow the ball. Yet, as you said, he's got a lot of movement on the fastball. Lugo steps in. We're set to go. Outside for a ball. Yankee Baseball on Yes, presented in high definition where available. And some more great shots on a clear night from the Fujifilm blimp over Yankee Stadium. Knee high at the on the corner, and it's 1-1. Yankee Baseball broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota with 17 models moving you forward. Breaking ball low, 2-1.
Mentioned Jarrett Wright has 8 starts. Here's the numbers on Julio Lugo. Wright has not allowed a run in the first inning in any one of his starts this year.
Joe's bunt takes low, 3-1. And there's on the graphic, you see what Kenny's talking about. He's 2 for 26. Boy, and he's wriggled out of some jams during that. He's walked a few guys, which he's on the verge of doing here, and does. And the speedy Lugo reaches first to lead off the ball game. Game time weather conditions presented by Subway. Gorgeous again, 75 degrees, just 47% humidity. Wind not a factor. Sunny and nice. What you see on the picture on the screen is just what it looks like out here at the stadium. Carl Crawford. Probably see a lot of that tonight. Yankee pitchers throwing over to first base. Lugo can run. Crawford can run. Gathright down at the bottom of the order. Fastball in for a strike.
Yeah, Lugo's gone 1 for 11 in his last 2 ball games, so he hasn't been getting on base with any regularity the last couple of days. So you figure when he gets on that first time, he's just raring to go. Stolen 32 bases, a career high this year for him.
Bunted, and it's a good one. Jarrett Wright, tried to make on desperation a quick flip throw to Giambi. And it gets past Giambi down the right field line. Lugo to third. And Crawford to second. Again, that's what that speed of the Devil Rays does. A perfect bunt And a ball in retrospect, Jarrett Wright wishes he'd have just picked up and taken a bite out of.
Yeah, there have been runners at first and second instead of second and third right now. Here's the throw. It's going to be a tough play anyway for Giambi with the runner bearing down on him to find the baseball with Crawford nearly at first base. The ball, Jason doesn't even touch it. Beyond him, on down the line. And the Rays have runners at second and third with nobody out.
Crawford credited with a bunt single, and in the throwing error by Jarrett Wright, so the Devil Rays with second and third, nobody out. Here's Jorge Cantu. Loops that down the right field line. And as effective as Jarrett's been in the first inning, he's going to give up 2 quick ones here. Nobody out. The Devil Rays with a quick 2-0 lead. And Cantu just 1 RBI away from 100.
You know, the amazing thing about Cantu is that when the season started, the Devil Rays in spring training thought that Roberto Alomar was going to be their second baseman. Well, he up and retired during the course of spring training. That kind of opened the door for Cantu. And, I mean, he has walked right through it. If he's going to drive in 100 runs in a season in which he was just about relegated to being a bench player, a utility player.
Aubrey Huff got the night off last night against Randy Johnson as the cleanup hitter tonight, plays third base. Popped up, left side, playable for Jeter out into short left field. And that's the first out of the ball game.
Now we saw a little bit of what makes the Devil Rays tough to deal with. Speed, the threat of speed. And the Yankees making yet another mistake, an error.
Maybe the Yankees will try a different strategy tonight. What's happened the last several times they've played the Devil Rays is they've gotten off to the early leads, and Tampa Bay keeps coming from behind. So tonight it's the Yankees that'll have to come from back, and Johnny Gomes, good-looking young hitter, steps in. 19 home runs, and of course his throw last night to Nick Green, the relay throw, big play in the ball game. Breaking pitch in for a strike.
Yeah, a lot of outfielders would panic on that play and just try and throw the ball home all by themselves, and making an accurate throw when you're scrambling to come up with the ball is very difficult. He didn't panic. He threw the ball to the relay man Nick Green, who made an excellent throw to get Bernie Williams to end the 6th inning.
Hit well right center field. Sheffield on the run near the track, looking up. It's off the wall. Cantu got a late start, but he's being waved home. Gomes sliding into third with a triple. And Cantu scores, and it's 3-0. And Sheffield, I don't know if that's on the warning track, but looked like he twisted either his right knee or his right ankle.
We'll take a look at the whole play here. Gomes, as Kitty mentioned, excellent power. Comes close to hitting this one out up against the wall. You can see Sheffield just about now limping, and it might be a hamstring.
Yeah.
It might be, you know, the best the Yankees can hope for, that it's just a cramp. As you see him reach for that left hamstring as he chases the ball. Matsui's the one who actually gets the ball back in. Johnny Gomes will head for third. He gets an RBI, 3-base hit as Cantu will score on this ball in the gap in right center. But the concern right now is for Gary Sheffield and how seriously he is injured.
You'll see right there, the top right corner. He just comes up beginning to limp, kind of stiff-legged with that left leg, and you're right. I mean, that has all the indications of a hamstring injury. Trying to flex it, like Kenny said, maybe it's just a cramp.
Yeah.
Gene Monahan, the head trainer out there, to, you know, and the Yankees, as most clubs do now, the Yankees have Jeff Mangold. Every team makes sure they stretch, they run, they're prepared. You know, years ago, if you didn't take batting practice, they just went out and played, and these kind of things would happen then. But these guys do their stretching. They're always prepared to go out and play from that standpoint. And you can see Gary now trying to stretch out that left leg.
You know, baseball is a game where you have a lot of quick starts and stops, and those are the things that, you know, maybe as Gary started after that baseball and was headed towards the gap, he felt the slight twinge, and it got worse as he continued to chase the ball. You know, that's a very delicate area, and if he continues, I would You know, he'd only have to be 100% for me to
Right.
let him continue in the game. You don't want this to get any worse.
So he is going to leave with 1 out here in the first inning. The Devil Rays already have 3 runs on the board. And Joe Torre signaling Matt Lawton will go to right field. Hideki Matsui will go to left. And I guess maybe Bernie, who thought he was going to have the night off, is going to come out and play center field. So Bernie will be the number 3 hitter tonight. And Matt Lawton moves over to right. Hideki Matsui to left. And we will get an injury report on Gary Sheffield. I mean, you see him walking off with just a slight limp. So you would think it might be just a little cramp or a hamstring strain, and the Yankees are going to take no chances.
Yeah, it's best if he misses 1 or 2, maybe 3 games as opposed to missing the rest of the 25 games that the Yankees play.
Well, the advantage in the American League now is that, you know, if he could get that leg wrapped up and swing the bat, he could still be a DH. Yankees' best hitter with runners in scoring position, and these games so critical in the month of September, they need his bat in the lineup. Yankees in the first inning to bring the infield in as the Rays have jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Gomes at third, and Travis Lee steps in. In the air to shallow. Wow, it's medium deep left. That'll score Gomes. 4-0 Devil Rays. And the Yankees have a little hill to climb already, and they still have not come to bat. So a rough first inning for Jarrett Wright. And an RBI for Lee. It's Travis's 43rd of the year. Yeah, a lot of smiles on Lou Pinella's face now. As Kenny mentioned in the open, the Devil Rays since the All-Star break have been a very good team. Hollins takes outside for a ball. Good fastball by Wright, 1-1. Hollins labored for years in the Atlanta farm system in the minor leagues, as did one of the infielders the Devil Rays have on their roster, Nick Green, not in the lineup tonight. Ripped foul. 1-2.
Nice play by Skippy down the line there. And a souvenir for
Skippy can
young
pick
lady.
it.
Yes, he can.
Wow, what a beautiful sight. The Yankees just hope that sun is not setting too early on them here in September. 4 games out, already down 4 runs. And that gets a piece of Posada.
Yeah, you were talking about the Devil Rays record, Kitty. They are 30-20 since the All-Star break. Here's a pitch fouled off, and he got the mask of Posada.
Outside for ball, 1-2. Check, that's 2-2. Now the count's full.
Yeah, one of the reasons Hollins got called up this year because of the injury of Rocco Baldelli. I saw Rocco before last night's game. He said his knee is fine. It's his elbow is the problem.
Sliced down the right field line in the corner. Lawton is giving it a look. If it's fair, it is fair off the right field wall, and Hollins will have a 2-out double. Very close to a home run right down there in the corner at the 3:14 mark.
Let's see where this ball actually hits the wall, as Lawton seems to have a beat on it, but the ball is just above his glove, and it is a fair ball. You can see some paint chipped away off the wall as Lawton will leap, and the ball hits his glove and the wall at the same time, and he doesn't come up with it cleanly. And Hollins will have himself a 2-base hit, his 16th double of the year.
Mel Stottlemyre out to the mound. The Yankees had a short start on the road from Al Leiter. Al 2/3 of an inning, and a few words of encouragement there to try to help Jarrett Wright get back on track. We want to remind you this copyrighted telecast presented by authority the New York Yankees may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Hollins at second, 2 out. Here's Toby Hall. High for a ball.
Not only the 4 runs, but the pitch count for Jarrett Wright in this inning. 20. You can get out of an inning with the 15 or less. You've done a pretty good job.
That's pulled foul. You're getting example of the difference in these two teams. I mean, the Devil Rays could put the ball in play. You know, they peck away with some singles, doubles, stolen bases. Even though they're an aggressive hitting team, they don't walk a lot. There you're looking at Toby Hall, one of the toughest hitters in the league to strike out. Outside, 2-1.
Equally tough to walk.
Yeah. Kind of like facing the old Pittsburgh Pirates. They're not quite in that class hitters wise. There's the Speedy Joy Gathright, the old lumber company with Stargell and Parker. They wouldn't walk, they wouldn't strike out. You'd find out in a hurry how well you did against them. 2-2 as that's fouled out of plate on the right field line.
Speaking of the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's Roberto Clemente night throughout baseball tonight. The great Hall of Famer from Puerto Rico.
Nice little video before the game showing some highlights of the great Roberto's career. On the bases to commemorate Roberto Clemente Day. Couple of hops out to Cano. Took a high one on him, but he recovered and throws out Hall. 4 runs, Jarrett Wright's throwing error, and it adds up to 4 Devil Ray runs before the Yankees come to bat. It's presented by Rico. With the what a great shot. Statue of Liberty there in the distance. Derek Jeter, as usual, lead it off. Hideki Matsui in left. Now Bernie Williams, in case you joined us late, had to go in and take over as Gary Sheffield left the game. So Bernie will hit third. Alex Rodriguez, Jason Giambi, and Ruben Sierra in the middle. And down at the bottom, Matt Lawton, Jorge Posada, and Robinson Cano has been on a nice streak.
Well, Doug Wechter comes in to face the Yankees. A career record against the Yanks is 1-3. That one win came this year on May the 3rd at Tropicana Field. He also had a no decision and pitched well August the 16th at Tropicana Field against the Yankees. That's his seasonal numbers for Doug Wechter this year. He's been at 24 ball games. Our Yes Scouting report on the young right-hander. June 3rd at Seattle. That was his only road victory of the season. He's allowed 24 home runs. That's among the league leaders. It's always been a problem for him. And August 16th at the Trop, he was the only Devil Ray pitcher this year to go 9 innings. Didn't get a complete game because the game actually went 11 innings, and the Devil Rays won in 11 against the Yankees.
A native of St. Pete, Florida, right where the Devil Rays, even though they're Tampa Bay, they play their baseball at Tropicana Dome in St. Petersburg. Derek Jeter with the average at .312 to lead it off. Hit well left field. Crawford right there to put it away. Line drive out.
Like Derek got on top of that a bit and had some overspin, and that made the ball sink. And Crawford, toughest play for an outfielder, and line drive right at him. And Derek scorches this one. But the results, you did everything right, but you hit it right to him. And Crawford makes the play.
Rather have a broken bat bloop.
Oh, anytime. You'd always get a new bat, but you can't get another at bat.
Hideki Matsui. Fastball in the outside corner for a strike. "20 home runs and 101 RBIs, and the average close to 300. That's low for a ball. Game with obvious wild card implications. The Oakland Athletics beat Seattle today 8-7.
That game at Tropicana Field, Wechter did a pretty good job. He stumbled early in the game. It was much like last night's game with Casey Fossum.
Pop foul down the left field line. Looks like it'll reach the seats, and it does. 1-2.
Wechter had early problems against the Yankees, but hung on. He gave up 2 runs in the first inning and 1 in the second, and hung on. That was it. Shut the Yankees down for 7 innings after that. You know, Casey Fossum last night gave up 2 runs in the first and 1 in the second.
Good pitch to Matsui, and he's down on strikes. Strong start for Wechter.
A good breaking ball down and in. Hitter thinks it's a fastball. At worst, a slider. Looked like more of a. Yeah, that looked like a slider down and in. Look, a camouflage fastball. That's what I like to call those.
And when you talk about we talk about the slider being such a dangerous pitch today. See, now that's a good slider because it had some down break to it. Different than the flat ones. Here's Bernie, who thought he was going to have the night off. Lifted to left field where Crawford is there, and Wechter's going to have a very economical 6-pitch inning to retire the Yankees in order. We've played one here at the stadium. Tampa Bay has had their way with the Yankees all year, and they lead this one 4-0 after 1. To get anywhere, you've got to grab life by the horns. Dodge. Fidelity Investments. Smart move. And by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. And the speedy Joey Gathright. Boy, what a great play by Cano. Wow. That was a perfect bunt, except it may have been just a touch too hard, and Cano made it look easy.
Well, this is the only one who had a chance to make this play, and Gathright trying to follow the footsteps of Carl Crawford. Or maybe Carl will follow him. It'd be a good foot race. But here's Cano's pickup. The only way he could do this is barehanded. You can see he got him by a full step. So Cano, who made the play last night, the error last night that led to the victory for the Devil Rays. This is Gathright. I saw him before the game in the tunnel. I told him I'd been a whole different ball player if I could run half as fast as you could. Man, he can fly.
Pitch to Lugo in for a strike. Of course, he could have said, well, I wish that I'd have had the power that you had. You can't have everything.
Well, there's been a few players who've had it.
That's low for a ball. That's called a strike by first base umpire.
That's Chad Fairchild.
Chad Fairchild at first. There's been a little realignment with the umpires tonight, so it's 0-2 to Lugo. Right back to Jarrett Wright. And he'll toss out.
Now, Kitty, you were talking about Jarrett Wright early in the ball game should get a ball hit back at him after that line drive off the bat of Raul Ibanez. Now, I know that was not nearly in the same class, but just to get that feel for a ball coming back at you.
A little test what Kenny's talking about in case you missed it. Of course, Jarrett's last start, he got hit in the neck by a line shot. And Crawford steps in. Boy, and they are putting the first pitch in play. Bernie Williams there to put it away. A 5-pitch inning for Jarrett Wright. He rebounds from that disastrous first. We head to the bottom of the second. Tampa Bay 4, the Yankees 9. Gave Ralph Terry the win. A little bit of a sweet revenge for Ralph, who had given up the home run to Bill Mazeroski. There's a look at some of the numbers. Yankees didn't hit much. They won 4-3, a low-scoring series. Look at the earned run averages.
Both teams, they had some great pitchers on both those clubs.
Only 8 home runs in as Alex takes outside 2-0. To vote for your favorite Yankees championship team of all time, log on to YesNetwork.com. So look at those 1962 world champions managed by Ralph Houck. In that series, Clete Boyer, Roger Maris, Tom Tresh were hitting heroes. And Kenny, when you look at that last out, now some of you fans that have been around for a while recognize these names, but first base was open, and Willie McCovey, one of the most feared hitters in baseball, against a right-hand pitcher. Now you'd say, why wouldn't you walk Willie McCovey? Because you know who was on deck.
Orlando Cepeda.
Wow. I mean, you talk about respect.
2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
In fact, the Giants had 3 Hall of Famers in a row in their lineup. Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, and Orlando Cepeda.
I mean, you can imagine if McCovey would have gotten a base hit, the second guessing that could have gone, because you'd say, wait, you got a left-hand hitter, McCovey, against a right-hand pitcher, and a righty in the batter's box. But that's what a respected RBI man Orlando Cepeda was. 3-1 to A-Rod. In the air to center. Gathright moves over, and now Hollins, the right fielder, will give way to Gathright. Boy, they got some speed in that outfield. And Alex retired, 1 away.
Yeah, I did Montreal games before I joined the Yankees in the Yankee broadcast, and for years Felipe Alou was the manager, and he played in that '62 World Series. And he told me an interesting story about Game 7. And as Jason Giambi comes up to hit, if you remember, fans who might remember, Game 7 had been postponed a couple of times because of rain, and the field at Candlestick Park was really soggy. And in that 9th inning, Felipe's brother Matty led off with a bunt single.
Outside for ball to Giambi.
And Willie Mays hit a double to chase him to third. Now what happened on the ball that was hit to right field, it plugged. And Roger Maris went over, picked up the ball, made an excellent relay throw to Bobby Richardson, so they had to hold Matty Alou at third. According to Felipe, if it had been dry, that ball would have bounced around in the corner, and Matty Alou would have scored the tying run.
And that was in the 9th inning?
Yeah, it was in the 9th inning.
Inside of Giambi, 2-1. Boy, you know, it's one of those series and there's a look at the team picture. Elston Howard right there in the middle, Jim Bouton, Tony Kubek. Down at the bottom, the coaching staff with Ralph Houck, Frank Crissetti, Johnny Sain, Wally Moses. High in the air to short right. Cantu, the second baseman, is there and puts it away. 2 out.
Yankees have had a couple of just misses off of Doug Wechter here. The fly ball by Alex Rodriguez just underneath it, the pop it in the air. And the same for Jason Giambi. Anytime you see a pop-up or a fly ball that's way up in the air, that means the hitter got good wood on it, but just didn't quite get it solidly enough on the bat. Beautiful shots tonight at the stadium. Not a sellout crowd, but still a very decent midweek crowd as Sierra steps in with 2 out. Wechter's retired the first 5, and that's in for a strike. Report we get on Gary Sheffield, tightness in the left hamstring, and you know, that's good news from a Yankee standpoint, because Sierra takes low for a ball. If you see a player really limp off the field, or you know, you're hardly able to walk, now you know you tore that hamstring. Speaking of great pitching in that '62 World Series, as Sierra swings, and it's 1-2. Guys like Mantle Maris and Elston Howard, none of them hit 200. Jack Sanford, I think, was 24-game winner,
right, for the Giants.
Juan Marichal.
Wow, Doug Wechter, what a start. He's retired the first 6, and after 2 here at the stadium, Tampa Bay on top, 4-0. Will be back, their last appearance here at the stadium tomorrow, and then on the weekend, the Red Sox. Channel 9 on Friday, Fox on Saturday. We're back with you on Sunday.
Jorge Cantu will lead it off as we look at our Coors Light scoreboard. The Devil Rays jumping out with a 4-0 lead in the top of the first inning. That's where we stand right now, and Cantu fouls the ball back, and the count moves to 1-1. Been a productive year for this young man. Got 8 home runs his last 23 games. 8 of his total of 23 on the year. You can see that RBI total at 99. One step from going all the way around the board. Pitches low and inside for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Jared Wright's going to try and shake off the effects of the first inning and make that his bad inning of the evening and allow his team to get back in this ball game. 2-1 pitch. Cantu, who does not walk very often, chases one out of the strike zone, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I mean, Lugo walked to lead off the game, but other than that, you seldom have to use more than 3 pitches against these Devil Ray hitters. They're either going to get you or you're going to get them.
Lugo leads the team in walks.
And he's a free swinger.
Yes, he is. 2-2 pitches on the way. Cantu takes it. It's just outside for a ball. There are some hitters. I remember talking to Joe Kerrigan when he was the pitching coach with the Montreal Expos, saying that there's some hitters who can't take more than 2 pitches in a row.
Right.
They just can't do it. Payoff pitch. Swung on it. Missed. Strike 3. So Jared Wright gets the leadoff man here in the 3rd inning and picks up his first strikeout of the evening as Cantu heads back to the dugout. 1 down.
Yeah, nice late movement. Kenny pointed out in the scouting report how Jarrett, and he still gets that fastball up there above 90, but it's got a lot of late movement. And Cantu swung over that one.
Here's Aubrey Huff. Popped out to Jeter his first time. Takes a pitch down low for ball 1. By the way, Cantu had singled and driven in 2 runs in the first inning to get the 99 runs batted in. Aubrey Huff the last couple of years has driven in over 100 runs. His ball is hit hard and
wow,
foul.
I think that's ice down there. The other, is that ice? The other ball, boy, he picked. No, that's not him. But he picked that clean. He's showing up Skippy.
Well, how about that? Here's another look. Ooh, short hop too. Competition down the lines. Meanwhile, the count on Aubrey Huff back to the ball game is 1-1, and he fouls it back and moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Only 2 Devil Rays have ever driven him 100 runs in a season. Aubrey Huff has done it a couple of times, as I mentioned, the last 2 years. He's going to have to go some to get to 100 RBIs this year. And Fred McGriff a couple of times for the Devil Rays. 1-2 pitch, a little low in the dirt. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. First in games, first in runs, first in home runs, first in runs batted in, and second in batting average. Line foul down the right field line. And sometimes when you're on a team that has a low payroll, that'll make you first out of town too.
Yeah, that's right. And he may be that way. I mean, there's a lot of question marks about what's going to happen to this franchise next year. As successful as they've been against the Yankees, it's not in good shape.
2-2 pitches inside. And what I mean by that is that your salary level gets to the point where the Devil Rays no longer feel it's appropriate to pay you that much money. There's the owner, Vince Naimoli, who's in charge of signing the checks. The payoff pitch just missed the inside corner. Posada thought it was strike 3.
Yeah, I think sometimes a pitch like that even fools the whole. Watch the late movement. See, I think that pitch, maybe if the umpire gives up on it a little bit. That was inside. Posada tried to sell it, and that's unusual for Devil Ray hitters to take a couple of pitches like that. Yeah, you wonder what the Devil Rays are doing with all their revenue sharing money. Because they're getting a lot of it, but they don't seem to be putting it into their payroll.
Here is Johnny Gomes, who had a triple, a run batted in, and scored a run in the first inning. Good-looking rookie hitter. Swings it on changeup, and man, strike 1.
He looked like he wanted to hit that to Monument Park. I mean, about came out of his shoes on that one. That'll usually get you a little calling card underneath the chin and swing that hard.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
That's low and away. The only home run that Jared Wright's given up since coming off the disable is Johnny Gomes hit it down into Tropicana Field. He is 2 for 2 against Wright with a home run and a triple. and he's also been hit by a pitch a couple of times. So he's made contact, and so is Jared Wright. Going inside, ball two. 2 balls and a strike.
And you mentioned that some hitters just don't like to take 2 pitches in a row. With all the detailed scouting report, the videos, the way you can break down stuff, actually you can learn a lot just by looking at the stat sheet. You know, you look at a hitter's walks and strikeouts. Used to look down at the stat sheet if you're facing the Dodgers and look at Steve Garvey. He'd walk about 12 times a year. So when you got behind 2-0, you'd say, well, you could, a borderline pitch he's going to swing at. But that'll usually, when you look at a guy's walk total, that'll give you a lot of information on a hitter. Does he walk more than he strikes out?
The overhead shots tonight, of course, coming from the Fujifilm blimp, and gorgeous night here at the stadium. Clear weather, and we're getting gorgeous views of Yankee Stadium. Aerial coverage provided by the Fujifilm blimp. Fujifilm is a proud sponsor of the Yes Network's Ultimate Road Trip. Pilots are Mike Dawson and David Burns. Swing and a miss, and the count is run full at 3-2. Let's see if Lou Piniella. You almost got to figure that the Devil Rays are going to have somebody on the move. Aubrey Huff has actually stolen 8 bases this year in 12 attempts. So he's not exactly clogging up the bases when he gets on first. There he goes. Pitch is hit in the air to right field, down the line, twisting towards foul territory and into the seats as Matt Lawton comes over for a look. So Huff will go back to first. Devil Rays are known for running. In fact, Lou Piniella, that's one of his trademarks as a manager. Running teams. I would expect Huff to be on the move again here. He doesn't go and pitches outside for ball 4. Second consecutive walk from Jared Wright in his 3rd of the ball game.
And what we've seen Jared have the ability to do after a couple of spurts like this where he walks a couple guys. Now in his rookie season, 2nd year, you'd see him rear back and maybe try to throw the ball a high 90, strike somebody out. Now he'll back off a little bit, depend on some movement, and even after a couple of walks, he's capable of getting a double play to get out of a jam.
There's Travis Lee, who's been one of the hottest hitters in the league of late. And he lifts a foul ball back and out of play. Lee is hitting 28 of his last 32 ball games. He's 8 for his last 15, 280 with runners in scoring position. That's some pretty good hitting. Got a couple on and 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Pitch hangs outside, and it's a ball and a strike. Ground ball towards second. This could be 2. Cano to Jeter for 1. On to Giambi, and there's your double play. Travis Lee bounces into a double play, and the Devil Rays are retired here in the top of the 3rd inning, and this will end the threat. We played 2.5 innings here at Yankee Stadium, an uphill battle for the Yankees. They're down 4-0. In part by Jaguar Cars. Visit JaguarUSA.com for more information. Avis, the official rental car company of the New York Yankees, and by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS to break loose from your nicotine addiction. Matt Lawton takes a curveball for strike 1 from Doug Wechter. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 4-0. Tampa Bay leads the Yankees. That pitch is inside 1-1. Here's a look at our Coors Light scoreboard. The Yankees down 4 quickly in this one. Lawton pops one up near home plate. Toby Hall coming back towards the crowd, reaches out and holds on and makes the catch. Excellent play by Toby Hall.
You know, catchers practice that in spring training. You'll see the ball comes up and it's got that backspin. So even though Toby Hall is running toward the stands, the ball's actually starting to drift back into fair territory, toward fair territory. And this is a great recovery by Hall, and uses that catcher's glove like a first baseman's glove.
See the reaction of the fans in the front row. They don't know whether to go for the ball or back off. And
got a little hustle mark to show for it.
There's one out. Jorge Posada will step in. Swinging at the first pitch, lifts it foul down the left field line, and this is out of play. Jorge's working on a 3-game hitting streak. Just over the 250 mark with 15 home runs. He'll be followed by Robinson Cano here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Wechter misses high. That will level the count at a ball and a strike.
I don't know if this is by design. Don Mattingly goes over all the pitchers with the Yankee hitters, and it's like the Yankees are saying tonight, you're going to get a lot of first pitch fastballs because they don't swing this early in the count very often.
Pitch is hit hard and foul down the line, and the ball was stopped by first base umpire Chad Fairchild. There's the Yankee hitting coach, Don Mattingly. Worked hard. We give him credit for getting Jason Giambi back on track, but he has to keep the other guys going forward as well. This pitch is fouled off. Yankees again, one of the highest scoring teams in the league. Down the right field line, going to be a long run for Gomes, and I should say Hollins. He's there. It makes the catch. Another sinking line drive off the bat of the Yankee hitter, and Damon Hollins makes the play. 2 down.
8 in a row retired by Wechter. You see, misjudged it for a minute, but boy, these Devil Rays have got some speed in the outfield. That little bit of a topspin on the ball fooled him, but he recovered.
All 3 of their outfielders are capable of playing center field. So that's the type of speed they have out there, as Kitty mentioned. Here's Robinson Cano. Cano at 279 on the season. And takes a pitch high and away for ball 1. Had a flashback to last night when Johnny Gomes in right field made a couple of good plays. That pitch is outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes as Wechter falls behind. Cano's average up to 279 thanks in part to an 8-game hitting streak where he's gone 12 for his last 31. Now the scoreboard says 2 balls and a strike.
I thought it was 3-0.
So did I. Unless Rick Reed snuck a strike in there somewhere. Pitch is lifted up in the air. It's not going to matter. There's Aubrey Huff into foul territory. Makes the catch, and the Yankees go quietly. 9 up and 9 down against Doug Wechter. He's been perfect through 3 against the Yankees. Devil Rays lead it 4-0. Our Aflac trivia question concerns the Yankee captain, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter had 1,906 hits and 1,140 runs in his first 1,500 regular season games. He was the last player to have as many in that short a span. Ground ball to third on the first pitch to Damon Hollins, and he's out number 1 in the 4th inning. Here's a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon on Line DSL. Not now, twice as fast as before. Mark Hendrickson, 8-7, 6.09 ERA. Left-hander will get the start, and Chen-Ming Wang will come off the disabled list and ready to go for the Yankees with a good record of 6-3 and 3.89. Will make his first start And the Yankees are hoping that he can pitch like he was before he went on the disabled list.
You know, when you look at that matchup, that's you got to ask some run support to have an 8-7 record with an ERA over 6. But Mark Hendrickson has pitched a lot better here in the second half.
Toby Hall chases a high fastball, and it's 1-1.
It's just country hardball when you play these guys. They go up there and cut and slash.
Ken Singleton along with Jim Cott. This evening, the Yankees falling behind early. The Devil Rays scoring 4 runs in the first inning, and Doug Wechter pitching for the Devil Rays tonight has gone through the Yankees in order through the first 3 innings. Ball is looped in the air to left center field. Is going to drop in for a base hit. So Toby Hall been swinging a good bat. Drops in a base hit in the left center.
You can see the movement on the ball. I mean, Posada wanted it down and away, and the ball actually took off like it was coming up and in. And Hall is so strong. He's a free swinger. As Kenny said, he doesn't walk much, doesn't strike out much, and as big and strong as he is, he just gets a little of the barrel on it, and it's a base hit.
Since July 1st, he's been hitting over 300. Here's the number 9 hitter, Joey Gathright, who tried to lay down a bunt. A good play by Robinson Cano to throw him out in the second inning. Swings and foul tips it. Got a piece of Jorge Posada, strike 1.
I was thinking back to that Aflac trivia question. I've got a pretty good suggestion for the answer to that, because back in the late 80s, early 90s, I followed the Twins, and the guy who put up some big numbers like that was Kirby Puckett. Man, he got a lot of hits in his first 5 or 6 years. In fact, I think at one time had the highest batting average for a right-hand hitter since Joe DiMaggio.
Gathright takes outside, a ball and a strike. Joe DiMaggio wouldn't be a bad guess either.
Yeah, I guess not.
We will find out the answer in the bottom half of the inning. You always see those type of jerseys here at Yankee Stadium. Some of the greatest players in the history of the game have played here. Line drive right at Derek Jeter. He comes up with it. Toby Hall will scramble back to first base. There are 2 down. Gathright is retired.
Probably the only way you'll ever double up Joey Gathright is hope he hits a line drive into a double play. But Toby Hall reacting at first base. You see the shot from the Fujifilm blimp. Got a little side spin on it. Derek puts it away, and Hall gets back in time.
Now back to the top of the order. Hall still at first base, and Julio Lugo. Lugo has walked and scored and grounded back to Jared Wright. He's 0 for 1. Checks his swing on a breaking ball in the third, and it's ball 1. Our statistician extraordinaire, Mike Schenkman, came up with this nugget before the game. Rick Reed, the home plate umpire, his first game was May the 9th, 1979, and he worked the plate that night. Rick Waits walked 7 and won the game for Cleveland.
Rick Waits. Now there's a famous name in Yankee lore. He was the left-hander for the Cleveland Indians in that great race the Yankees had in '78. And the Yankees made a great comeback, and I think Waite beat them one of the last games of the season, forced the playoff.
Bouncy ball to third. A-Rod retreats, comes up with it, throws the second for the force. The Devil Rays are retired here in the 4th inning. Doug Wechter's been perfect so far. He's going to the bottom of the 4th.
Brought to you by Toyota, with 17 models moving you forward.
Well, it's time for the answer to our Aflac trivia question of the evening, and the question went as such. Derek Jeter had 1,906 hits and 1,140 runs in his first 1,500 regular season games. Who was the last player to have as many hits and runs in the same span of time? And the answer would be Joe DiMaggio.
Nice company, Derek.
Oh, boy. 1,965 hits and 1,211 runs. Joe D., the Yankee Clipper. The Yankees are looking to get anything started against Doug Wechter, who has retired the Yankees in order through the first 3 innings. Derek Jeter's going to lead it off. Ground ball foul. And Luis Sojo can handle this one. 4-0 Devil Rays. Derek, on our pregame show, talking to Kim Jones, had made the statement that the Devil Rays carry themselves differently now around the Yankees. Derek fouls this one off. It's almost as if they expect good things to happen now. And I guess that would be the case if you won 10 out of 14 games against a contending team.
That's one of the dangers if you're a contending team playing a team like Tampa Bay late in the season. On one hand, you say, well, they really ought to handle them. You know, they're a much deeper team, a much better team. But the way to really measure these two teams is if they were tied for first right now, would you see the same Devil Ray team? Would they be just as loose and relaxed?
Swung on and missed, and I should say foul tipped into the glove of Toby Hall, and Derek's gone. 3rd strikeout.
Well,
Doug Wechter.
Doug Wechter may be beginning to realize his potential. You know, Devil Rays had high hopes for him. Came out of St. Pete, Florida. Actually, his record this year not impressive, but he's had a lot of good games where Lou Piniella's bullpen has let him down. And as Kenny mentioned, he pitched 9 innings against the Yankees back in August. Came out of a 3-3 tie.
Matsui struck out in the first inning. Swings here, hits one deep to right center field. This one is gone. A high fastball, and Matsui turned on it. The Yankees are on the scoreboard. It's now a 4-1 game, and for Matsui, that is a milestone. His 400th career professional home run that counts Japanese baseball and here with the New York Yankees. His last home run had been August 23rd. Well, it had that sound. 332 home runs in the Japanese league, and of course the remainder here with the Yankees.
They knew, didn't they, coming out to the park?
Here's Bernie Williams, and he takes a pitch for a strike. So the perfecto is over for Doug Wechter. He had retired 10 Yankees in a row before that line drive home run, the 21st of the season for Hideki Matsui. And that pitch is low.
Hideki Matsui is like, if you follow the stock market, he's like owning Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company. I mean, you just sit there and watch it increase and improve, and that's what we've seen from Matsui.
That's outside. 2 balls and a strike.
The contract story, of course, Hideki's contract up, and he said, no, I'm not interested in renegotiating right now. You really haven't seen the best of me. I want to play this year and show it to you. And, you know, he's going to look at an average close to 300, maybe get close to 30 home runs. Already has over 100 RBIs.
Bernie fouls this one off, 2-2. He should break his career high in runs batted in with the Yankees, which he set last year, 108.
Turned a high fastball around from Doug Wechter.
Low and inside. Did he get Bernie Williams? Well, Bernie jumped out of the way, and the count runs full at 3-2.
People joined us late tonight. Gary Sheffield was in right field. Bernie was having the night off, but Sheff came up with a tight hamstring first inning, so Bernie inserted into the lineup, and he's batting third.
Line drive towards the gap in left center field. The speedy Gathright is on the move. He can't get it. Cuts it off before it gets to the wall. Bernie Williams is into second with a 2-base hit. Well, the Yankees have come out with some thunder here in the bottom of the 4th inning against Doug Wechter.
Again, a couple pitches up. You saw Toby Hall reach for the target. That's been the scouting report on Doug Wechter, and I think maybe why the Yankees have been swinging early in the count. Leaves a lot of pitches up in the strike zone. The home run that Matsui hit was the 25th he's given up. And the speedy Gathright cuts that off, but Bernie still has a double.
So the Yankees have a runner in scoring position. They also have a run in, and Alex Rodriguez will come to the plate. A-Rod flew out to center field in the second inning. Crowd has come alive here at the big ballpark in the Bronx. Breaking ball is outside for ball one. .40 home runs, leads the American League. Might have chased a pitch out of the zone. That will level the count at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, Alex was a little anxious last night. He struck out 3 times and grounded out. And if there's one habit that he falls into, despite the terrific season he's having, you see Andrew Jones with 45 home runs, and Alex with 40, is he does get a little anxious and chase some of the off-speed pitches.
That is a call strike, 1-2. Andrew Jones, as we take a look at this last pitch, Kitty, it
looked like a splitter.
Yeah. Andrew Jones, I thought that was supposed to be a big ballpark in Atlanta.
Yeah, but see, it's up there about 5,000 feet or so. That ball carries there.
1-2 pitch. Call, strike 3. Wechter works corner to corner against Alex Rodriguez and picks up his 4th strikeout. And there are 2 down here in the 4th inning.
Alex didn't agree with the call, but that if Doug Wechter gets out of this, you see the late movement and Toby Hall holding the glove for Rick Reed to see it. This is where you begin to see big improvement in a young pitcher. It looked like it whispered across the corner there, as Michael Kay would say. And, you know, pitchers roll along, they get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then when you get in trouble, what kind of pitches does he have to get out of trouble? And that was a good one there.
Outside for ball 1 to Jason Giambi, who had that miscue on the bases last night. Joe Torre said Jason's only problem was thinking he was in somebody else's body. I can't fault hustle. There's a pitch in for a strike, and it's 1-1. And Joe was speaking to Kim Jones prior to the game. Giambi lifts one in the air to left field. Carl Crawford will drift back and make the catch. That'll do it for the Yankees here in the 4th inning. But they do get on the scoreboard. Home run number 21 on the season for Hideki Matsui. At the end of 4, Devil Rays lead by 3.
Spiro Adidas with you from our Yes Studios. This update brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Angels at the Red Sox tonight at Fenway. Bottom 3 tied at 3, 2 outs. Trot Nixon drills a double off of the green monster off Irvin Santana. Renteria scores 3 runs in the inning for Boston. They lead 4-3. The wild card watch. Cleveland winning right now in Detroit 3-1. We go back to the Bronx.
All right, thank you very much, Spiro. You see in the Chevy scoreboard, Devil Rays scored 4 runs in the first inning. Jarrett Wright has settled down since then. Hideki Matsui's home run, the only run for the Yankees. And 4-1, top of the 5th, as Carl Crawford takes strike 1. And taps it out toward Jarrett Wright. Accurate throw to Giambi in time, and the speedy Crawford is retired. Well, Spiro gave us an update on the Red Sox. They are just so hard to hold down in Fenway Park. I mean, they're hard to hold down anyway, but Lou Piniella was saying when he came in here, they should have won 2 out of 3. They had 4-run leads, 6-run leads, and they could not keep that Red Sox lineup down. The Yankee pitching staff will get a shot at him this weekend. Here's Jorge Cantu. Loops that down the left field line. That's going to be in for a base hit as Matsui will play it down in the corner. 6th hit of the night for the Devil Rays. Every time a Yankee pitcher strikes out an opposing batter, the Tri-State Hyundai dealers help strike out kids' cancer by making a donation to the Hope and Heroes Children's Cancer Fund and the Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital. of New York Presbyterian. If you'd like to contribute along with the Tri-State Hyundai dealers, call 212-305-1420 and let's strike out children's cancer. Aubrey Huff with 1 out and 1 on.
Aubrey Huff out of the University of Miami. That's where he played his college baseball.
Rips into right field. Lawton will get in front of that one, and Cantu stops at second. That was hit hard. And the Devil Rays again with 2 on and 1 out.
Not wasting any time, Aubrey Huff. You can see that pitch is just about centered. Couldn't quite get to the outside corner, and Aubrey Huff pulls it through the hole for the base hit. I was going to say that his University of Miami Hurricanes had a tough first game against Florida State. Florida State beat them.
Football game.
Yeah, football. Yeah, I was watching a little bit of it.
But they're both great baseball programs, too.
Yes, they are.
Mike Martin, a former minor league teammate of yours at Florida State, and, of course, Miami for years under Ron Frazier, legendary college coach. A-Rod from that area didn't go there. Here's Johnny Gomes, aggressive swinging. 2 on, 1 out.
A-Rod was thinking about going there, but Seattle made him the #1 choice overall in the draft.
Yeah, he got a pretty good scholarship out of that deal going to Seattle. And he's wearing former Dolphin great Dan Marino's number. One and 1 to Johnny Gomes. So again, Jarrett Wright in a situation. He got out of this situation the last time by getting a double play ball at the bat of Travis Lee. That triple in the first inning, that's the hit that Gary Sheffield tweaked his hamstring, had to come out of the game. So the Devil Rays put 4 on the board in a hurry. Foul outside of third, 1 and 2. And here's a look at that play.
There Gomes' shot to the gap in right center. You see Gary reach for that left hamstring, and hopefully it is not too serious, and he won't miss much time. Of course, the Yankees, any club missing a 100 RBI guy is going to suffer. And hopefully it won't be too long before Gary Sheffield's back out in right field or DHing for the Yankees and keep his bat in the lineup.
Ball and 2 strikes to Gomes with 2 on and 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Outside, 2 and 2.
Kitty, the more I've seen of Johnny Gomes, now this is his rookie season. He actually made his major league debut at Yankee Stadium a few years ago, but this is the first year he's accrued as many at bats to be lose his rookie status. I like him as a hitter. He doesn't chase too many pitches. He's got a quick bat. He's got awesome power.
Into the bat, left field, Matsui appears to have it measured. But even that, off the end of the bat, Johnny Gomes hits it down the left field corner. There's 2 away.
I mean, he's hit 33 home runs in the majors, 19 at the big league level, 14 in the minors to get a recall. And in 160-something games in the minor leagues at AAA level, he hit 50 home runs down in the minors.
Yeah, look at the pipes on him. He's like Popeye. He got those forearms and strong upper body. You see Matsui track that one down. So now 2 out with 2 on for Travis Lee. Outside for a ball. And the other thing with Gomes and so many hitters, you see him wearing the body armor, is they are so aggressive. There's no fear. They just go into that ball and attack it. I mentioned last night he's got that scruffy look like Gorman Thomas, a former power hitter of the Milwaukee Brewers. Towards second again. Canoa's there. And it looks like Jarrett Wright will work out of it once again after the Devil Rays scored 4 in the first. He has really settled down. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Yankees on the short end of a 4-1 score. Bottom of the fifth, Tampa Bay leads at 4-1. Every Yankees round tripper at home in 2005 is more than a big hit. It's a home run for kids and families across the country, and that's because for each home run a Yankee player hits at Yankee Stadium, Circuit City will donate $1,000 to Joe Torre's Safe at Home Foundation as part of Samsung's 4 Seasons of Hope. Sierra pops this outside of third. Looks like it'll reach the seats, and it does for strike one. For more information, please visit fourseasonsofhope.com and the updated home run tracker at yesnetwork.com. Speaking of home run tracker, we got quite a nice surprise up here in the booth, Kitty, that Yankee Media Relations Director Rick Cerrone brought this up. That is the baseball, as Sierra takes strike 2, that Hideki Matsui hit for his 400th career home run, and very nicely a fan returned it and said, give it to Hideki, right?
Yes,
wow, what a switch. Most of the time fans, nowadays fans will demand a certain amount of money or some memorabilia stuff. Sierra down on strikes, and Wechter rolls along. There's a look at Hideki's 400th career home run.
That's a shot from the Fujifilm blimp. The cameraman up there tonight is Rob Gunter, and that takes some doing it itself to follow a line drive home run from that high up in the air. But that is, of course, Rick said don't lose it, and he'll get it to Hideki after the game.
I know one thing, just feeling that baseball, that thing's like a rock. No wonder they go so far. That thing
Come on, this is the way it should be. You make good pitches, they don't go out of the park.
Ball at a strike to Matt Lawton.
I mean, it doesn't say Titleist on it.
No. Well, the Titleists go a lot farther than they used to, too. Off-speed pitch. Boy, Wechter, this is some sharp performance so far by Doug Wechter. Just outside, and it's 2-2.
Matt Lawton played in the National League this season with the Cubs and the Pirates. Had 11 home runs.
Foul at the plate, 2-2. Got a chance to talk with Matt briefly around the batting cage, and his parents are actually here at Yankee Stadium. And those not familiar with the story, 8 members of Matt's family displaced by Hurricane Katrina. Matt had some damage to his home, and his parents, a lot of damage to theirs. And so his parents are up here right now, but he said in due time they think they've got things under control, and they'll get back there and get things rebuilt. So he's a ball player directly affected by the hurricane.
Yeah, I talked to him briefly too, and he said, everybody in his family's okay. That's the good part. And he says you can replace all that other stuff.
Right. Right back to Wechter. We'll flag it down and flip to Travis Lee. If you'd like to contribute to the Hurricane Relief Fund, that's what the Yankees are doing here at the stadium. The Salvation Army Hurricane Relief make the checks payable to the Salvation Army. Yankee Stadium, Department SA, the Bronx, New York, 10451. And of course, there are representatives of the Salvation Army at various gates at the stadium. They'll be here for the entire homestand for anyone who would like to contribute. 2 down in the 5th. Here's Posada. Tapped out to Lee. Boy, the Yankees swinging early in the count against Wechter, and he has held them to just Matsui's home run and Bernie Williams' double in 5 innings. Tampa Bay leads at 4-1.